Alright, this is Iron Bill, and I'm back again with another video. And what I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to run the video in the background, and I'm not going to let the video go any longer, this video go any longer than the background play. And what we have here is Rusted Lands, and I'm running a Dire Promise. I'm not very good with hand cannons and Crucible. I'm also running Gnawing Hunger and a generic rocket launcher, nondescript. And their precise settings don't really matter that much because the real discussion tonight and the point of the video is discussing what makes a good PvP match, and of course the greater question, did CBMM, connection-based matchmaking, did it push us in that direction, and how's that working out for everyone? Now, of course, that's going to be an individual decision. You notice that I already have somebody who's quit the match. I see this a lot in connection-based matchmaking. I never go through a match without teammates quitting, or my team just never gets filled. So I'm going to lead with that. But anyway, this match actually doesn't turn into a blowout in the end. In fact, it winds up being a pretty decent match. Now, I'm in a bad place here, and I'm ignoring my radar, and I'm just asking to get tagged. And I have a stupid death here in a second, but this is all my fault. I could have rounded that corner instead of trying to whip around when I was weak and put a rocket down there, so I kind of asked for that. And it's too bad because I'd have had an entire team, or 4 of the 6 team members right there on the spot if I'd done it, but that's on me. But, what I want to talk about really specifically, and not just the moment-to-moment things here in the video, although I can make lots of observations, which I typically do, is that what I particularly enjoy in a match is when it's competitive both ways. I don't like to be in blowouts either way. I don't like to be on a team that's absolutely destroying another team, because I know somebody's suffering on the other side, and probably that's all they ever see of the game. And my sense of fair play just doesn't allow me to enjoy that. On the other hand, of course, it's obviously no fun whatsoever being destroyed. Now, here's me ignoring the radar again. So, yeah, I have a lot to learn. This guy's just basically disrespecting me here, but he'll be sorry for it in just a moment. And there I use the Dire Promise. How do you like that? So much for the teabag. Anyway, yeah, it's a good back and forth in this match, and I'm not the top killer in the lobby by any stretch of the imagination. I never will be. I'm leaning a little too hard into this Gnawing Hunger. I should have trusted the Dire Promise a bit more, because it actually is a very good gun. And maybe even in that situation right there, I could pop over the top there and go invisible, get a couple of shots, but there were 2 guys there, and I was a little bit afraid to rush it, and so I basically rushed right into their zone and just asked to die. Can you believe this stupidity? I mean, I deserve to die for doing what I just did here, and I'm crouching down, just waiting for the inevitable person to come. Of course, he's going to come over the top. They already know I'm here now. It's too late. I'm done. I would have a hard time dealing with that one guy scooting around, much less the guy behind me as well. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. I guess I would ask the question, for those of you willing to comment, what do you see in connection-based matchmaking? Are your matches better? Or are they worse? Do you feel like it's been a good thing? For me, I see that my game load times are slightly quicker, and by that I mean very slightly, but for the most part my connections themselves really aren't any better. I don't find, yeah, see, I didn't have it on him when I came in, and he last worded me down, flinch and all that stuff. Well, anyway, I don't see a big difference that way, but what I do see, more than anything else, that the 2 huge negatives are the massive swings of blowouts, both being on a blowout team and being against a blowout team, or people just simply quitting out of my lobby. And those are hard things to deal with. I don't have a problem playing better players. That's really not the issue, but you can't play them alone. If your team quits on you, that pretty much is a problem. And I know the easy solution would be for me to quit too, but you know what? I mean, there you go. 2 things wrong with that. I don't believe in quitting. And, well, I mean, I get a ban for it. Even though Bungie's putting me into a completely insufferable situation a lot of times, because I can't blame people who want to leave a match where, you know, the score is 70 to 15, and you know, you're just wasting time. You know, that's if you're trying to accomplish any bounties or quests or anything like that, being in that type of lobby is just utterly wasting your time. And you cannot blame people for not wanting to waste their own time. So yeah, there is that. So here we are. If we look at the match again, we're doing just fine. We're 66 to 62, and you know what? I honestly, okay, I'm on Titan on this. That's what's going on. I was wondering, why am I not dodging you know, reload? And you know, that's not the class I'm on. But and I disagree with that, Bungie, right there. I disagree with that. He couldn't have jumped high enough to get above that blast. And yeah, that's a little suspect. I mean, that super should have killed him before he could have jumped over the top of my blast and shotgunned me. But oh well, he shut it down. Good for him. He was able to do it. He knew he could. So I can't really argue with that. I just, on the Bungie part, I think I disagree. All right, our guys are not, and myself included, we're not contesting this heavy well enough. And yeah, just kind of asking for it. And we got a super up here now. I saw spectral blades pop up. We have a slight lead at this point in time. And I think I stopped rushing into stupid situations here directly. And you know, part of what you're seeing there is me trying to be more aggressive and figuring out what I can and can't do with different weapons. And if I were smart, what I would do is I would settle on a few weapons and I would just use them over and over till I really got them down. What ranges you can use them, what situations you can't. But here I am trying to creep into a situation where I'm almost certainly going to get pulled out because, I mean, you just see red all over the radar, and that's just being too aggressive. And you know, I'm going to be responsible for any losses where I'm feeding kills to enemies experimenting like that. But I guess, you know, how are you going to learn if you don't do it? So I'm pre-firing that corner, and you would have thought I would have been okay, but Sweet Business is a little bit better at pre-firing. And yeah, Sweet Business is an annoying gun. It's not OP, and good on that guy that he could get a bunch of stationary targets to do that with. But you know, I'm going to hunker down here because I figure they're going to come for this zone sooner or later. When you get it down to, we're down to a zone like we are right now, and they decide to triple cap, you know they're going to come in. So I'll violate the rule of constantly moving in this scenario so that I can protect our zone. And there he is. I know he's coming. And this is just trying to keep us in the match. You know, because if they take that zone and triple cap on us, it's going to be pretty much lights out at this level. All right, so our team's here. It's time to move up. I'll finally get the message here in a minute. I see the heavy is up. Decide to kind of move in that direction. Got a player behind me. I know it. Got one in front of me up on top. I know that too. This guy, if I didn't have the guy behind me, he would have been toast. But I got last worded from behind. When my teammate left, I should have left with him. You know, and then that, again, that's decision making on my part. You know, I watched the video and I think, well, why was I stupid enough just to stay there? Or why was I running into zones where I knew I was going to get double and triple team? Like here I am running right at the zone again. And I think I get out of that. Right there, and I back off and give myself a little bit of space, and I'm back in position. I know they're outside this box. That's our super. Move over to the center here. Figure they're going to do that again. That, again, is our super. I thought it was the other teams at the time. That's why I didn't go down through there and follow them in. Going to go for B again. This guy should be toast. We shut down his super. Go for B. You know, I play in spurts, and I think a lot of people are probably like me. You know, you'll have moments where you're making some really smart choices and you're getting some good plays. And like right there, I don't know why my team's not going for B. We need zones more than anything else. And I think a lot of these guys just get into clash mode And yeah, there we go again. I'm going to get him if it kills me. And I don't even know what I'm shooting at that point. I'm going to sit on here with a super. That should intimidate them enough and so that we can get the zone. And it was just enough. Now, I made a lot of dumb choices in that video. I did. But, you know, eventually I started making the right choices, or at least better choices. And, you know, I didn't throw it away for us necessarily. So let's look at that match. Let's just look at that scoreboard for just a second. I know I promised I wouldn't go over this, and I really, yeah, I'm just going to hold it here a second and just kind of finish up on the point. What we have here is a balanced lobby. Okay, so I'm right in the middle of my team, really actually on the low end. But you can look across on the top player, the second player, the third player, the fourth player, the fifth player, and that pretty much is a level match right there. And if you look at our captures on zones, and you know, which by the way, I had the most. Anyway, you see that levels out. The KDs pretty much balance out. I mean, this is a good match. And if connection-based matchmaking was always like this, I'd love it. I would love it. This is fine. I don't have to be the top in a match. Let's face it, I'm just south of 60 years old. And I'm not going to, reflex-wise, decision-making-wise, cognitively, I'm just not the man I was 30 years ago. And I'm playing against people who are a third my age. I don't have a problem with not being the best, and I never will be. But I want to be in matches where, you know, both sides have a competitive chance, and that's what I want from matchmaking. And I'd play a lot more PvP if it were that way. Sadly, this type of match happens maybe 2 times out of 10. Most of the other matches are just going to be complete and utter blowouts one way or the other. And it's no fun being on the receiving end. It's no fun being on the serving end. And I just wish it wasn't that way. So with all that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm over 100 subscribers now. So whatever that means. And anyway, my family gets a kick out of that, so I appreciate it. And with that, I'm going to close this off for the evening. This is Iron Bill, and I'm signing out.